now joining us is the legend himself, famed boxing trainer and combat sports commentator, Teddy Atlas. Teddy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for allowing this boxing intruder to come on to this beautiful set here.
I love it so much. We're honored to have you here. And you mentioned boxing. Who is Jorge Masvidal to you as a striker?
Roy Jones, but before you go crazy, Roy Jones was very special, but not quite as athletic, at least at this point at 37 years of age, but very creative. You know, thinks of himself as a guy that makes it happen as he's doing it, creates it as he's doing it. There's no set script, you know, that says, well, I'm going to do it this way. He'll make it up. You know, Customato would always tell me, special ones make it up as they do it. You know, like Louis Armstrong, he makes new notes. You know, Jimi Hendrix makes new strings. Yeah, he's got that ability and that cerebralness to just create and create havoc. But he thinks of himself as a boxer. And that's where I would frame him, as a boxer, but a very creative boxer. Throwing a few knees, you guys do that, you know. In my business, I never had to worry about telling a guy, hey, before you leave the corner, wait, don't forget his right knee could be dangerous. It's a little easier in my business.
Hey, Teddy, when two guys know each other like this, two former sparring partners, that seems historically to turn on a switch for defensiveness. I know what he's going to do, and I'm going to block it. You get two guys that come defensive, and we don't have a whole lot of action and engagement. What needs to happen for two sparring partners to turn the offensive switch on?
Discipline. You know, the one guy, and this is an emotional thing. Who's playing the game a little bit more? I got a funny feeling that it might be Covington. I just got a funny feeling. Who's the more serious guy here? I think it's Masvidal. And listen, I could be way wrong, because I think to build his brand, not that it's not real, but Covington knows that is part of the apparatus, you know, to make money, you know, and to fuel him, to get him, or, you know, getting ready to go. But discipline. Who can stay within themselves a little more? Who doesn't make the mistake first? Because for me, that's how this one kind of bows. For me, is that Masvidal would look for Covington to make a mistake, to shoot a little too early and stay on the outside and be able to catch him with what he gets caught with. Covington gets caught with straight right hands. I mean, just look at the Usman fight. So I think that whoever can control themselves just a little bit more in this chaos that they've created, I think that's the key.
Like when we're talking behind closed doors, like if you're a coach, all the cameras are gone, and you're trying to coach these guys through a training camp. There's been so much mentioned about the teams and the coaching and all that stuff. If you're one of those coaches and you have a guy that's in a beef and they hate each other as much as these guys do, how do you separate those two things?
It's all 75% of this game. You guys know it. 75, I know in boxing, is mental. You know, I mean, you don't. If you get a guy, the first thing we teach a guy is if he can get you mad, you got no chance. Well, I mean, that's the first thing we teach them, is that because we get kids off the street all the time, and, you know, they want to come in there and they want to prove something. And young kids, I work with 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12, try to save them from the streets than know that they're going to be in Madison Square Garden one day. But to save them, I tell them, and it's preached to any good coach will preach this, that you can't get mad. You can't get mad. If you get mad, you're a fool. You're a dummy. That smart fighters will play with you if you get mad. They will take advantage of you because you're not thinking. You're just coming in there throwing punches. And I think that's the key here. Go all the way back to when they first started. Remember when we first started, we said, don't get mad? Remember tonight. Don't get mad. You know, like The Godfather, it's all business, not personal.
Very, very understandable there. I mean, Teddy, but when you actually look at how these 25 minutes could go between these two guys and what they've accomplished previously inside the Octagon, maybe where their holes have been in other matchups and where they found success, what are your expectations when it comes down to the fight and how this one ends?
I think that it's going to be a more controlled fight than people think, because all the flames that have been going all over the place with saying, you know, I don't like your mother, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, your mother's ugly, you know, all that stuff. I mean, they're going so far. I think they're both going to be cautious in there more than you might think. And I think it's going to come down to who, as always, who can get the geography that makes sense for them, who can fight the most. And the one thing about Masvidal, we know he can't get on the floor with this guy, you know, on the mat because he's a great wrestler. But he's got a great escapability, great ability to survive. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Adesanya. You know, Adesanya is a great striker. I mean, that's his strength. But he's not great on the mat. He's gotten a lot better. But he's great at surviving from being put into the wrong place there. I think that's what it is for Masvidal, is that he's got to be a striker. He's got to be a boxer all night long and escape any attempts. And a little more, like it's touched on earlier, take advantage when he shoots. Make it hard for him to shoot. Make him make a mistake. And land that right hand, the same right hand that Usman landed, you know. And if he does that, I think that he can revive himself coming off that terrible, destructive loss. And let me finish with one last thing.
Yeah.
There's something powerful here. One thing, these are guys like you guys, very proud guys, very tough guys and explosive guys as far as your abilities. But redemption is important. At 37 years old, he doesn't want to walk down the street remembered for that Usman fight. He doesn't. There's a power to that. There's a hunger to that. I think that could be the difference for me.
Teddy, your insight is so valuable. We appreciate it so much. I feel like I learn a tremendous amount every time you.
My seat just dropped. The guy kept saying, "Get taller, get taller." I can't get taller than these guys. These guys are tall. They're giants in this sport. See, this is perfect. See, I'm down here now. This is perfect because this is where I belong.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.